B'siyata dishmaya, we are going to be continuing our chavura in Korva El Nafshi, the amazing sefer of Rav Kluger, Rav Avraham Tzvi Kluger Shlita from Beit Shemesh. We are in the story, this part of the book is called The Inner World of a Jew, and we are on the fourth of 7 chapters that we'll be learning on this section. And we know the process. If we've been following the classes, we're in the ups and downs of the relationship, making peace between soul, mind, and body, or what's called neshama, sichli, v'chiyuni. And in this process, it's always turmoil, there's always ups and downs, there's always different things that are going on, and our job is to try to always bring back alignment. We talked a lot last time about physical pleasures and where do they come from. When we say, I need, what does that mean? When we say, I want, what does that mean? Where does that even come from? How does my body even want anything? How does it have the ability to want? And we finished the 3rd chapter, which was based off the teachings of the Arizal, on that idea of where did the man come from? How does the body want? As if it's really rooted in the soul. And now we're going into the 4th section that's called Hasichli b'melachto. The mind, right? We have soul, mind, and body. The mind doing his work. The mind in his job, in his work. Zat Hashem. Regel shel hatzala hu zeh. This is a moment of salvation, or a moment of being saved, of rescue. Chol ma'uto v'chalakav shel Yehudi denam. This Jew that we're talking about that has all of these different facets going on inside of him gets a moment of a little breather. Alo bechira b'riya is the choicest of creations. Amurkav min ha-neshama is made up of a neshama. Ashochenit im ha-nefesh ha-sichlit v'ha-nefesh ha-chiyunit, that is resting with the mind and with the essential bodily soul. Quick reminder for those of us who might have forgotten, when we say the mind and the body, obviously we're not talking about the mind and the body, we're talking about the soul of the mind and the body that exists in this world, but it is still a this world creation. It's a this world level soul, right? We're not talking about the brain or the body. We're talking about the energy behind that is meant to connect with the neshama when the neshama comes down here. So that neshama that's resting and working with those two entities, when inside of the mind there's an arousal and it wants to shake off the dust. Remember, we left off in the last time that there wasn't peace. We know that Hashem's not going to leave it like that, but we were in a state where the neshama had no one to talk to. The body was upset and hurt and just keep on indulging, and the brain was saying negative things that were logical. You're not worthy of receiving, you haven't been doing the work, so why do you expect to get anything from up above? You're a dirty animalistic body down here, how do you expect to connect to a neshama? All those are logical mind things to say, but they're wrong. You could have said, there's no despair, you can always keep fighting, it's okay, Hashem never gives up on you, the neshama is here to serve us as well. You could have said all of those, and they're also true, they're also logical. So now the brain wants to wake up and shake off the dust. And it starts to do actions. Ad matai tishav neshama sgura u'mesugeret. Until when is the neshama going to be sitting alone, locked away, as if it has no one to talk to, up in its palace, right? Like the rabbi we used to learn about, that's sitting in his attic, wants to learn Torah by himself, doesn't want to be with students. How long are you going to be in that situation? Be'ein la kelim lekabel ha'ora. There's no vessels to receive the neshama's light. Ad matai yeh chiyuni itim ne'elav itim mishtolel. How long is the body going to continue to be on one day hurt and the victim and everything's against me, on the other day the kid throwing a whole entire tantrum? Itim rotze yoter midai v'itim eno rotze klal. Sometimes he wants so much and sometimes he doesn't even want at all. The brain is in the middle again, between the neshama and the body, the mind, right? So the mind is meant to be the translator between the two, the bridge between the two, to make the communication and the process of unity much more simpler. So now the mind is understanding, gotta do something. Gotta do something. כל זעקת הקטטה הפנימית המתמשכת בתוך היהודי השוקעת ושוב בה עד אין קץ עולה ובוקעת רקיעים. this voice of a scream, an inner scream, this inner fight, this inner battle that just doesn't stop, that keeps going on inside of the Jew, that just always comes down, sets like the sun again. It's just like it happens, it falls upon me, and it never ends to the point that it has the ability to ascend up and also split all of the firmaments. Within all of that, this fine, fine line of salvation, of hope, can be seen in the horizon. אל אוזנו של היהודי, הנה מתגלגלים ובאים דברי התבוננות ודעת מתיישבים על הלב. Into the ear of the Jew, all of a sudden starts to come in these words of contemplation, these words of depth that are not only profound and deep and true, but they're sitting on the heart. They're finding a place to rest. They make sense to me. It's connecting. דיבורים על מציאות השם, יתברך בעולמו ודרכי הערתו. Ways of contemplating on Hashem and His reality in this world and how He leads the world, how He shows up in the world. הסובבת וממלאה כל עלמין במידות הנהגתו יתברך. It surrounds all worlds, fills all worlds in the way He leads the world and the way He reveals Himself in this world. Start to learn about these deep things. Right? When a person's down, Allah is not going to talk to you so much. Regular Torah is not going to talk to you so much. You hear some profound ideas, some deep things that the mind needs in mind level Torah, right? מקבל בהירות ראשונה במהות המטרה הפנימית של שליחות הנשמה לשכון בשכלי עם החיוני. All of a sudden, this light of what was the whole purpose of a neshama coming down here and resting inside of a mind and a body, trying to elevate them. What was the purpose? By contemplating the Kabbalistic profound ideas of how Hashem rules the worlds and the Sfirot, you start to realize, okay, there's a reason for all of this. אם עוד קצות הבנה בגדולות ונצורות אצל אחד יתרחש הדבר בלימוד חסידות. The more you start to go into these deeper hidden ideas, one person, it could happen by coming to learn in a Hasidic class, right? Learning deep Torahs from the Baal Shem Tov and his students. אצל אחר בדרכו אל המפתן, ספרי או אמרי מחשבה. Another person, he needs a little bit more philosophical ideas. מחשבה, right? Rav Kook or these Rav Soloveitchik, these thinkers, Abarvanel, these people that develop thought in the world. המאירים גם הבנה. They also bring down understanding. מלבד הפעולות שנצטווינו לעשות או לא לעשות. We're not talking about all of the aspects of Torah that teach us what we're meant to do and what we're not meant to do. That could be included inside of these ideas, but really what we're seeking out is these profound ideas that sit in my heart and change me and start to bring me light. Not that the halakha can't do that, but the halakha is lechatchila not used for that purpose, although that light is there. Personally, I'm flying on it lately. I love it. Mishnah Berurah has become the biggest Kabbalistic and Hasidic book I have, right? But lechatchila, it's not that. The halakha is about what do I do and what do I don't do, right? Kabbalah, Chassidut is all about emunah and the mind and developing the relationship. It's all about the inner world. Halakha is about the external world. It has that light there though. The mind is starting to pull, to nurse from this brand new wellspring, this new mayan that popped up, that's just flowing with water from the depths. And it starts to trickle water on the dry heart of the body. It's nursing from this mayan, it's going there, and every time it comes out of the mayan, every time it comes out of the mikveh, you come out with water, you leave a little trail of water that water hits the dry ground, it gives life to those leaves, so too. When you learn deep Torahs, whether you understood them or not, something goes on inside that your brain starts to trickle down this refreshing water onto your dry heart. It starts to show signs of life. All of a sudden there's a spark in his extinguished eyes. They were dark eyes and now there's a shine there. Everything that was said, it was written, is very clear. There's things now that are in the highest level of importance and depth that become clear to the person. Simply clear. You learn a deep, deep Kabbalistic idea and you just get it. And you're starting to understand it. Your brain gets it. הנהגות יסודיות בבריאה, פנימיות, הגלויות, שורשיות וכוללות. The way that Hashem rules the world in a general aspect and an encompassing aspect, above the world, in the world, how He shows up, different sphere, different parts of Him, all these different things that are talked about. עולות במילים מתיישבות, והשכלי דולה מהם ומשקט חיוני, היושב בפה פרעה ונדהם. The brain is nursing all of this in, taking all of it in, and it's pouring water, watering the garden that is the body, and the body's just sitting there like, what's happening? What is this? What are you reading? What are you doing lately? This feels good. This feels good. Every time you open that one book, this is like, this light comes out. The body gets engaged. It feels great. What is this stuff? הולך יהודי ושב פעם אחר פעם לקבל את הדברים הללו. The Jew realizes there's something here, so he goes again and again. He wants to learn the Torah. He wants to sit with that person. He wants to be around these ideas. It feels good to hear these things. רגליו כמו מוליכות אותו מעליהם. His feet, so to say, are on autopilot. They take him by themselves to the Beit Midrash. They open the book by themselves. They go into YouTube, to that class. They do whatever it is that's giving them that light, that's feeding their brain, that starts to refresh the heart. It's so good that it becomes like, I want this. I'm doing it automatically. Who is it inside of me that has this teenage love, this passion, this young fire? What's going on in here? If that's coming from my neshama, from my soul, because these words, it sounds like they're coming, it's like everything we're saying here, it sounds very neshama-like. Or is it the mind? Is it the intellect? Finally happy that these deep ideas are being absorbed and comprehended by the brain. I'm able to understand deep ideas that I thought were so lofty, so deep in Kabbalistic principles. I get it. Maybe, that's how sometimes the Jew feels. Maybe it's the body that also now wants to hear from these words that happen to be building it up as well. Who is it that's pulling me to go learn Torah every week, every day? Who is it? We have all three of these things inside of it. Who is it? Who's in charge here? Who's the one that told us to go learn? Because it feels good. L'rishona alei adamot, the first time ever, it could be that it's the body coming to say, I want it. I want to go learn Chassidut. Shechianu. הוליכו הרגליים כאשר שלושת הכוחות פועמים בתוכם יחדיו. The feet lead you, right? Your legs lead you towards the thing with all three of these forces pumping inside of you. They're all there. They're all inside of you. ויהודי מוצא את עצמו שוב ושוב על שפת ים העומק. Again and again the Jew finds himself on the lips, the beach, right? The very edge of the depths of everything. הנפקע בפניו לישועה גדולה בחיים המעשיים שהוא זוכה בהם. And what's inside, what's on the other side of that ledge that you find yourself standing on? All the answers and all the chizuk and all the depth that you need for your day-to-day to get through life. You find it in these deep teachings that you've come across. השכלי משתאה בהתפעלות. The mind is just blown away, taken back. גדולים וקדושים כתבו ואמרו את הדברים, ומה גדול החסד אשר זוכה בו להשכיל הדבר חוכמה ואמת. The biggest minds in the world, like we mentioned today, Reb Chaim de la Rosa. Look in this book. Look where a mind of a Jew went to be able to understand how to build a mikveh in your head before you even get inside the physical one. What names, where this, and it's all emet, and you can test the system as much as you want left and right, you're not going to find a hole in it. For thousands of years, people have been trying to do that, Jews and non-Jews, rabbis on the good side and haters on the other side. And it's perfect, it's shalem, it's complete. These kinds of minds wrote these Torahs, and my brain merited to understand what they wrote. The mind is blown away. Has no idea how to even express the joy that the mind feels to be able to comprehend the words of a living God. What did the mind finally download now? I got more tools, more information of how to get the body to come back and to behave and to come into to play along, to be in unity without having to force it. Up until now, I had to use all these different strategies and force and try to make it make sense. And here's a chocolate if you go to Shachrit and this and that and the other. Now I have an intellectual thing that makes so much sense that it makes the body feel good. The body understands by itself without all of the trickery, without having to go all the way down really to its level. This information made it down by itself. Huh? It's good, Amash. It really is, right? That it gets heard all the way down into the feet. It really is. Like Reb Nachman says, Vaya ekev tishmeun. Vaya is a word of joy. Ekev is your heel. Tishmeun is that should be heard. That the joy should be heard all the way down in your heels. It's the same thing we're saying now. You hear a new idea, you go to pray, that shacharit, you should walk out of that synagogue like, oh, I just stood in front of the king of the world for an hour. What problem do I have? Like, I just have that level of access. I just stood in front of the creator of the whole entire world. If he gives me or not, I just spoke to, I expressed all my problems. There's nothing else I can do. I should feel great. My natural status should be to be in joy, not to be broken and that's it. I had time to express it. If I was in pain, I told Hashem about it, and now back to my day, I meant to be happy throughout my day. We want it to be like that. כוחות רעננים וקדושים זורחים לפתע ברקיעה עולמם ויהודי מרגיש ביותר את השקט המבורך אשר נשתרר. There's new energies. There's a new sky. There's a new heaven that's been built here. All of a sudden, these deep ideas are working. The brain is passing the message down. It's coming down. There's a sense of joy. There's a quietness, right? A ceasefire comes over the people. Breathing room. No rockets right now. No balagan. They're able just to be. And in unity. Not just to be. In unity. Without the chaos. Without the back and forth. הנשמה כמחייכת בסלחנות. The neshama is there looking at all of this, smiling with like this forgiveness, this patience, this motherly, right? Happy that the children are getting along. מניחה לנפשותיה ליהנות מכוח החידוש שעדיין מקשקש בקרבם. The neshama is like watching from afar, like, oh cute, you guys understood something, you're getting along, you're playing, thank God. Just like letting them be in this new light that's come inside of them. אל מול אור חדש הוא מעלה אשר לא ידעו עד הנה. This is a new light that's from such a lofty place that they didn't know of until now. סבור היה חיוני בעבר כי מציאות השם יתברך הנה נושא גבוה ורם אשר אין מדברים עליו. The Jew thought that in the past the reality of Hashem is such a lofty thing, it's a topic that we don't even really talk about. כי אם מקיימים את פקודיו בכורח. We just follow his laws. God is, I can talk about God. He gave the Torah, I believe in him, he gave me commandments, I follow them. That's where it ends. That's what I thought at least. הנשמה היא מבינה במה דברים אמורים. My neshama understands the depths of all the Torah and the mitzvot, and when I shake the lulav, my neshama understands what's going on in all 6 directions, but me? Where is me in these kinds of topics? Kachta. That was the mistake. That was the mistake. ימשיך כך להיגרר בעיניים עיוורות. That's how you continue through life with blindness in your eyes. Going down a path, doing a whole bunch of actions and not knowing anything about them. בלא לשאול, without asking. בלא להבין מאומה, without understanding anything. בלא טעם, without any taste, without any reason, without any logic, without any depth behind anything you're doing. כך נהגו עמו בראשית הדרך, כדי לחנכו להרגילו. That's how you treated him in the beginning. The kid, the child, the body. You gotta do. Why? Because I said. against your will. This is what you have to do right now. There's no explanations why now is bath time, because I said it's just what it is. And that's needed to a certain extent for a child. So then, but the body got stuck there and thought, I guess that this is how it's meant to be for the rest of life. This is what it's going to be. I just do things against my will. I'll never understand why I have to shower. I never will understand why eating whatever I see is not good for me. Therefore, when the body loses the power to be tied down, to have to do all of these things, when it loses the ability just to do, it feels disrespected, it feels embarrassed, it feels low, it feels like it's a failure. No one ever took the time to explain what is going on here. שיתאים ויתאים את הדברים גם לנפשו כפי ערכו. Tilt it, incline it, match it. Let me understand a little bit. Bend down my way. Bring it down more so I can understand why is it that I have to shower now? Why is it that if I eat holier in a healthier way, I'll be holier? Tell me, explain it to me on a body level. No one ever did that. No one ever told us that it's not about keeping the mitzvot so you don't get punished. It's about having a deep relationship that's filled with love and mercy and awe and respect with Hashem. It's not about whether you're going to heaven or hell. That also matters, and it's not negating the reality of Olam Haba and Gehenom and all these things. But it's not about that. That's just the first level. That's how you get person to start to do. Care about yourself enough that you don't end up in a dark place and desire to go to a good place. Once we've passed that level, can we start talking about the day-to-day relationship of finding God in every single thing you're doing? Living with deep connection in every single thing you do? Hear an idea and it hits down to your heel? That's the day-to-day. Reward and punishment is the beginning level, and then it goes out the window. It's just to start to do. והנה מתברר לו עתה כי גם לא מותר לשמוח בנקודת ההבנה לפעול מכוחה. The body now understands I'm also allowed to be happy in deeper understandings and to use them to get the strength that I need to do whatever I need to do. ללכת אחרי השם יתברך גם מתוך קרבה מתיישבת על הלב. To go after Hashem also from a place of, wow, this relationship is understandable, I get it, it sits, it makes sense. לא רק מתוך כפייה, not only by way of התקפיה, of being forced, of being coerced into doing it. This is the right thing to do. You'll get a reward. Here, I'll let you watch Netflix if you go to Shacharit. If you pray 3 times a day, here's a... אם כי גם היא נצרכת לו לעתים רבות. Not because I'm forced, because the body understands I also need this. Much more frequently than I thought. The body starts to understand that. Going to synagogue and being around friends. I had this discussion once with a friend. A guy that came here. He leads retreats and ceremonies throughout the world. I said, what do people get out of it? He says all these things, right? More peace and clarity and connection and so on and so forth. I said to him, okay, so then I have no business going to something like that. One of these retreats, 3-day retreat. He said, why not? You would enjoy from it a lot. You would benefit from it a lot. He said, listen, these people work 9 to 5s, corporate America. They never get a break. 3 days a year, they get away to Colombia, Mexico, and they sit around with friends. They finally have deep conversations. They spend some time in a pool. They don't worry about their phone or their business for a few days, and they feel rejuvenated. I told him, I wake up every day, go to a synagogue filled with men. We have deep, meaningful conversations. We meditate for an hour in front of a God. We go to a mikveh. We have spiritual baths, cold plunges, hot plunges. We walk a lot up and down in our city. We have communal gatherings with music. We have nature. The body needs these things as well. These are, when the body understands that those things, when they're attached to Kedusha and done in the right way, they feel good. It's nice to take a walk through Eretz Yisrael. It feels good for your body, let alone your mind, and how much contemplation you can do just looking around while you're walking. And even more so your neshama, that every 2 steps is doing a mitzvah from the Torah. On all levels it should feel good. But can we be conscious of that while we walk through this holy land? Or wherever you are in the world? This is not the place now to tell over on 1 foot everything that's been learned. But to go away without saying over a little thing it's not proper either. Started to learn a little bit of the inner aspects of the commandments of the mitzvot, which is the divine will of the Creator, blessed be He, that brings life force to all of the whole entire creation. Now we've already reached a level where we've worked and we merited to work in understanding the deeper secrets of creation, how everything fits so perfectly back into unity to its creator, into its root. Like the unity between the receivers and the givers, parents, students, children, right? The secrets of the world, the letters, and how they progress, and how they change, and how they permute through the 231 gates. Starting to come closer and closer to understanding where is my part in this whole system. That everything revolves around one axle that is echad yachid umiyuchad, one, singular, unified. Hashem. בא לתחילת מושג מה פשר הדיורים יחדיו אשר נכפו על 3 המציאות הנוגדים בעולמו הפנימי של יהודי. All of a sudden you start to understand what is the point of having these 3 different opposing forces inside of one inner world of a Jew. אם ככה מתפלא החיוני. The body is taken back and says, if this is the case, if so, everything here is divine and unified and everything makes sense and it's all aligned, if so, שגם תשמע נשמה, and it says it out loud so that the neshama also hears it. If so, מדוע לא דיברו אליי עד כה? Why has no one spoken to me until now? לא הבנתי, I didn't understand. לא ידעתי כלל וכלל, I didn't know of this stuff at all. מעולם לא הסבירו לי. No one ever explained this to me. If I would have known, I wouldn't misbehave so bad. I wouldn't have messed up so much. I would have paid more attention if you would have just told me God is behind everything and involved in every single facet of my life. And it's all aligned and it's all perfectly second by second in place. If I only would have known, I wouldn't have misbehaved. And the body has in mind to have the mind in mind as well. I'm being motzi you. Right? I have you in mind, the mind. When I say sorry and I'm asking for this, I'm not bad. I don't misbehave because I'm bad. I'm not an animal like you called me, nefesh bahamit, animalistic soul. I just didn't know anything. My root is so high, so lofty, so good. I also felt bad when I was out of a line, when I wasn't aligned, when I was misbehaving, when I wasn't doing the right thing. I had enough sense to realize I was out of place, that I wasn't doing my purpose in this world, that I wasn't aligned, that I didn't feel good. Now it's clear as day to me that all I needed was more understanding. העליון שבכל פעולותיי ומעשיי. All I needed was a little bit of more understanding to be able to want, to feel the supernal pleasant energy that comes down in all of my actions, in all of the things that I do in this world. I didn't even know it existed. Didn't even know it was there. No one explained it to me. It's so hard to act and to do in this world without understanding. You don't know why you're doing things. It makes it so much harder. A person walks through the city streets, and any day, a regular day, take an average guy and an average day, and all of a sudden, he sees circles of people dancing. He looks at them, is like half making fun of them in his mind. What are these people doing line dancing in the street, flash mob, what is this? God forbid I'm going to join the group. No way. What is this? What's all this joy for? What's going on here? Why are there people dancing in the street? But against his will, they grabbed him and they pulled him into the circle. They pulled him into the line. So that, if that's the case, someone all of a sudden whispers in his ear, what's the reason that everyone's dancing? This is very relevant. This was written years ago, but it's relevant way before what I'm about to say. But this is what the book says. Why is everyone dancing? Ki ploni mibnei am yatsa hayom min bor hashivya v'hama'asar. That Ploni Almoni is like we say Joe Schmo, right? John Doe. Someone from our nation got out of captivity. He was released from his bonds. We still have brothers and sisters that are in captivity. B'ezrat Hashem, in the shlit of this Torah, bring a little bit light to open up some paths for them to get out. But they're celebrating because one of the hostages of their nation was taken out. How much more so we should be with simcha, high levels of simcha. Whether they're alive or they're dead and they come out, we have to rejoice, we have to be happy. It's a part of us that's stuck there right now. We have over 50 pieces of our nation stuck in captivity, holding all of us back from moving forward. We can't move forward without them. We have to have them in mind. Everybody here prayed so much for them to be redeemed from their situation. We're happy. We're dancing in the street when they get out. Now, it reached this part of the town. This joy that breaks through all different limitations. Immediately, on the spot, his legs are now activated. He's dancing. He's in it. What happened? What changed in the moment, in a split moment, that he saw them, made fun of them in his mind, would never join them, they pulled him in, still opposed it, didn't want to dance with him. Someone all of a sudden says, your brother just got out of captivity. A hostage just came home. We've been praying for this non-stop. Boom! The legs are in it. He's dancing. What happened? How did he go from there to there? Kivin Tulo. He understood, and that's enough. Once I get it, that's all I need sometimes. We have to know in Judaism, it's not always about understanding. Like we learned, in the beginning you do against your will, and that is the right way. But at a certain point, I need things to be understood for me to really be taking part in them. I have no problem dancing, but let me know why. And the second I get the importance of why this circle exists to dance right now, I'm in it. I'll be in it. Just, I need a little in of, let my body, let my feet understand why they should be jumping. We're going to start with this. Afani, even me. Neum achiyuni. The words of the body. Kashaya alaya rikudimach. It was very hard for me to dance with you, neshama. I didn't understand according to my level. Asiti, pa'alti, shamarti, aval belo lev. I did, I kept, I made things happen without a heart thought. And since I merited to this level, The smallest of the smallest, a fraction of what wisdom is, a fraction of what the Kabbalah has to teach. Bal namotu pa'ami ani sheyatzati min hashviya v'abor me'afela le'ora. It is me, the body that has been redeemed from captivity, that came out of the pit into great light. The body is the one that's held hostage inside of us sometimes. Has no idea what it means to dance with the neshama, to go through this world. There's a story. There's one of the Tzadikim, I can't remember his name, Rav Yosef, Rav Yitzchak, or something. It was by Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman was younger. He was already a Rebbe, he was starting to become more known. But again, Rav Nachman died at 38, 37, and he must have been in his 20s at this time of the story. And this guy was a guest by Rav Nachman. And a Friday night, the meal was like, this guy looked and he was judging how Rav Nachman held himself throughout the whole Friday night meal, and he said, I like what I see. Next morning, Shabbat morning, at the meal, everyone at the table is just talking, current events, what's going on in the world, how was your week? Nothing holy, no holy speech. Now this guy's like, what's going on? How? Manishtana? What happened? What's the difference between last night, so holy, to today, where you guys are talking mundane things? And he came to ask Reb Nachman this question. Reb Nachman said, come inside my office, close the door, close the windows, one-on-one. He said, do you understand why all those stories were told? He says, no, that's why I'm here. I'm asking you, what was going on there? So he says, listen, that guy that told that story, he went through this, and this, and that's connected to the sfirot in this world, upper world right now, that's being revealed now through the Parasha, and started to break down the whole entire conversation over hours, to this other rabbi, and explaining to him, according to Kabbalah, where all of that mundane conversation was rooted in the heavens. And they say that this guy left, this Rav, Tzadik, left Reb Nachman's office after all of that, like crying and like on an extremely high level of yearning to come closer to Hashem, because he realized the body is rooted in a very, very lofty place. A simple conversation could be connected, is connected to the deepest things in the world. To do it in a mundane, cheap way, I don't believe Reb Nachman was doing that either. Right? That wasn't the vibe at the table. They weren't talking disrespectfully, they weren't talking dirty. Right? But with the eyes of Reb Nachman, you're able to make the connection between the olamot, between the worlds, and to see how there isn't a difference. So too here. Our body's from a different world than our neshama, but they were sent down together to dance. And sometimes the body is walking through the street, just busy in its day, and the neshama gets a light and starts to dance and grabs the body and says, come, and doesn't tell it why. Doesn't explain why. Never lets it really trickle down to what's going on here. What was that? Can we talk about that? You were walking through the street, like Reb Nachman says as well. A person sees himself in a certain place and gets an arousal for tshuva. Do not move a millimeter from that place. You got an arousal in that place, don't say, oh, that was a great idea, I'll go write it out later. No. That energy came to you in that place, take advantage of it there. Don't move. There's certain things that could happen to a neshama, but we have to translate it down to the body. And when we do that, the body starts to dance with all of its power and all of its might from this world. Legs start to move. Habits start to change. Mindsets start to change. Everything starts to change once it's just understood. No problem, I'll dance with you for hours, just tell me why. Just let it come down to me. Zatals Hashem, obviously we're going to continue this teaching. And obviously this is connected to our Parasha, like my father-in-law Rav Noach just said, that we have in the Parasha, the deepest paradox maybe that we have in Judaism, that's called the Red Heifer, the Parah Adumah. How could it be that a certain ritual makes the person leading the ritual impure, while by way of the same ritual, he purifies everybody else? It's a crazy question that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't get answers on, Shlomo HaMelech didn't get answers on. It's things that were very deep. But Rav Yoel Tordjman, Zatzal, had an amazing idea on this that I have to share with everybody. He said that all of us in life think that we have certain parts inside of us that are tameh, that are impure. That's just how I am. I'm an angry person. I'm a cheap person. I'm a lazy person. All these different things that people could say about themselves. I have trauma. I have ailments. I have ADD. Whatever it could be. A person that they want to label themselves and put themselves in a box because of what was or because of what they believe. And they think that that's how I am. There's nothing I can do about it. There's no work to be done there. Rav Yoel Zatzal would always say, that's the secret of the Parah Adumah. That what you think would make you more impure if you were to deal with it, that there's no way to conquer your anger because that's just how I am. Maybe, just maybe, by going into that place, you might get the highest level of purity. Maybe if you were able to touch into that nikudah that you think that would make you so impure, maybe it's in the exact same other side of that coin, all of the potential for purity and new life and new levels of understanding. Like we know the Chidah, right? The Chidah says about the Arizal and the Marchu, the Rav Chaim Vital here in Tzfat, that it is impossible and no way that they got to the levels that they got to if they didn't have barrels of the water of Efer Parah Adumah, the ashes of the Red Heifer here. And that the Arizal knew where they were with Ruach HaKodesh and sprinkled them over himself and the Rav Chaim Vital, and that's the only way they got to the levels that they got to, on the levels of Tanaim, 2,000 years before them. That water is powerful water. This paradox is a very powerful idea. And the Jewish mind is meant to be able to hold within it that paradox of making the bridge between the neshama and translating it down to the body. When we can make that, or at least have room for the ability for that to exist, even if we don't understand it, so then we have more of a bridge to work with. The bridge that Rav Yoel would always talk about as well. Siyata Dishmaya. We don't have to understand everything, but just knowing that these things exist, right? And we have to stop telling ourselves for sure, that's one thing. We have to stop telling ourselves, that's how I am. That's just who I am. Everything can be changed. Everything in the world can be changed. Every single thing in the world can be changed. Even the horoscopes that you think you were born under and that you think they limit you, with enough Torah and tzedakah and tefillah, you ascend way above any stars that were ever created. Everything can be changed. There's new hope. There's new renewal. There's purity that comes down to the world that allows you to step into the Beit HaMikdash, a place of connection to Hashem, that is a Mayana Mitgaber, an everlasting flow of source water that's just coming to heal and bring vitality to your soul and your body. B'ezrat Hashem.